Well, we're back.
Oh, and good evening, and
Hey,
welcome to The
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 Truth
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 Behind the
behind the
Truth.
truth.
Yes,
Hey.
indeed. We are excited tonight, guys, because we're going to come at y'all with
Yes.
some stuff.
Yes.
I would say the other word, but I'll say that for later because they may have to come up later on. But some people call it the shift, but I'm going to call it the ship. You know? Whatever it is, but we're gonna come up with just some good stuff tonight. We are so glad that you have taken the time out to tune in and be a part of us tonight. Thank you so much on all of our social media platforms. We do need you to like, share, like, and share, like, and share some more. Okay, all of that we need you to do.
And subscribe.
And subscribe.
Yes.
Very, very, very important to us, that you do that. We're trusting that everybody had a great week this week. Want to remind you real fast about your opportunities to get your truths behind. I know yours is coming. Yours is coming. See, he's anxiously waiting, guys. See, if you're good, you'll get yours before him.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
indeed. We want to remind you definitely to do that to get your. We will put the information up shortly about how you can obtain your mug, and also about getting your a part of the contest we have going on with your mug. 10 subscribes and likes. Just send them to our email address, which we'll put it up in a little bit for our email address for you. Send out 10 likes and subscribes to our email address. We'll verify them. All right. And then from there, we will send you out a complimentary mug. So you got a couple ways to be able to get it, free or pay. A lot of people want to go free. A lot of people want to go free. We got to give a reason to go free, okay? But pay, we love that because we love your support as well.
Please do.
That's right.
Absolutely. And I want to remind you also about supporting, okay? We'll put that information up as well on our Cash App as well as our Venmo accounts, all right? So we'll do that in just a minute and have that information up for you, all right?
All right.
Guys, thank you again. Man, I am excited. Like I said, start up the show tonight. We have our brothers with us. Parnell is out making things happen. He's one of the working actors like some of us will be back into doing again, but he's getting things together. So he may pop in tonight, but you'll see him throughout the season at different times because he's got to get that money, Got to get that money.
Right.
Absolutely. Things happen on Fridays. But we have sitting in our dear brother that has become a kind of a formal but informal cast of the show, Darnell Thomas. He is a wise gentleman. I'm sure you guys have been knowing that as well as you've been hearing the previous shows. So we love his insight and what he's bringing to the table as well. All right. And you, how are you?
I'm happy. I'm so happy to the point that I can't even speak at this moment. But I want to say one of the reasons, and I'm speaking, but one of the reasons why I am happy because y'all remember Breonna Taylor, right? Y'all remember her death and what it brought about with the Black Lives Matter movement and all that, that came with it. Well, y'all do know that the guy that ran, who was governor at the time, who shall be named, was one of those people who kind of really tossed her case out of into the garbage. He has lost. He's lost. He has lost. His
Sounds
name
like a little karma to me.
Yes,
I know, right?
A spiritual karma, to be exact.
Look, that's so good because we don't talk about spiritual stuff tonight. But go ahead.
Spiritual karma, because I believe there is unfinished business when the people who have died or who have
Okay.
left this earth
Okay.
did not get the time to fulfill what was
You
needed
are
to be
right.
done.
You are right.
But
That's
Mr. Daniel Cameron,
Uh-huh.
God bless you. You know, you thought being a Trumper or being a MAGA was going to help your situation. It didn't help, brother. It just made it even more prevalent that people were going to come out against you and vote somebody else in.
Uh-huh.
You know, and the thing about that is it's such a sad situation to see somebody who was just as young and it could have been that vehicle for change. But he decided that, you know, that wasn't where his money, you know, was. So yeah, he's gone. And we're happy because it needed to happen. Yes,
Oh, well.
that's right, Charles. The district attorney. Yes. He did not, you know, make the governor.
Right. Well, you know, hey, things
Oh
happen.
well.
And things happen for a reason. You know? And I'm finding that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll make my point if you don't know. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I was just saying. Oh well. Well, you know,
Okay.
you get what you serve. You
Well,
get what you give.
Yeah,
even
this
if you've
is
been
true.
married
This-
into the
this-
McConnell family, but
okay,
keep it
okay.
moving.
Yeah.
We knew we ain't gonna
Well,
get to
you know,
that
I mean,
one.
and that kind of, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think this is going to bring our show into a well-rounded position about. And I don't want to necessarily call it karma, you know, but it really is. But you know, the thing that we've got to rethink, and again, we'll revisit this throughout this evening on the show, is whatever comes out of your mouth, okay, you will obtain. Okay, you know, I'm gonna say Scripture says the tongue is the most unruly part of the body. Okay, it means that it cannot be tamed. So at any given time, it's gonna flap and say something that shouldn't be. So one of the great things that you have the ability to do is to keep your mouth shut. Okay, mouth shut. You don't have to worry about any karma coming back on you because you have not spoken anything negative on somebody else's life. But at this point, we're seeing karma come back like, hey, 40 going on. You say it, and guess what? It's knocking on your door. Okay,
Yeah.
it's happening.
You
that
better
fast.
ask producer Timbaland that.
Okay, well, tell me about that.
Well, you know, he told an interviewer that that Justin Timberlake should put the muzzle on Mrs. Britney Jean Spears.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
Yes, he did.
Oh, wow.
He went out and said that, you know, that girl crazy. Justin, you should have put a muzzle on her.
Wow.
And now a lot of people, you know, the internet went to want to just crucify him because how dare you say something about a woman who's been in conservatorship, who was abused within, and on top of that, exploited within her industry, and now all of a sudden she's wrong and saying what was going on in her life, and yeah, he had to come out and apologize. Actually, Missy, now he said this, not Missy, she called him and said, you must make an apology.
Wow.
Now, that's something that, you know, and I'm saying, you know, hey, the tables have turned. I'm just Miss Britney got a foundation behind her.
Yeah, but that's
some
good.
good tea.
That's good.
I mean,
yes.
That's so good that people are coming out for her.
Yes,
know,
it
and
is. Yes.
People are recognizing the talent that she has and what she's brought to the industry.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and not just being overlooked like, you know, so many of them are. Go ahead, Darnell, you had a point.
No, I was just saying that's some good tea there.
Yeah. I mean, for
you poured that hot off the press.
Okay. Here you go. Well, what is that? We'll sip to that. That's another truth behind it.
Absolutely.
But no, I mean, and you see this type of activity that is going on throughout life right now. There is so much, you know, I don't want to call it backlash, you know. I'm going to do a shift real quick, guys, just in the conversation. I want to go to politics just for a second. And, you know, all of this fuss and thing about this and muss and, you know, and against the right versus the left, the far right, the far left, the in between, the other, you know, in between, and all this type of stuff. See, y'all Trump followers, okay, I'm saying to you guys, y'all better wake the hell up. Okay, at the end of that, because what you're doing to society, guess what? It's gonna come back. And I don't want to see you in a position of, I'm just coming from the heart. I don't want to see you guys in a position of saying, wow, what did I do? What kind of decision did I make? You know, because you're following by somebody that's going to jail. I'm sorry, he going to jail. Now, he may not stay all of the length of the time that he going, but trust me, he going to jail. The prophets have said he is going to jail. Now, the prophets, y'all don't care. Man going to jail. Okay, he gonna spend some time with Pookie and Faquan and Juju and Big Bubba. you know, and everybody else, okay, and find out what Big Bubba, Fuquan, and Juju got going on, okay, because he gonna find out. Y'all think he ain't, all right, but he gonna go to jail, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this for the record because it's been said in the right context that he ain't gonna be president no more. So just stop, you know. And what I'm gonna say to y'all, just stop and take a pause. All right, take a pause and listen. Listen to this universe because it's telling you the message, baby. It's telling you, look, just like you brought the point there.
Mhm.
It is telling you, and it is speaking big and big and big and big hard. Okay, seriously. Now, President Joe, you may feel this man is old. All of us feel like he's old because he is old. Okay, he is an older
Pretty
man. Well, what do you expect when you're 80-something years old? I mean, close to what, 80, 83, 81,
80.
82? 80, whatever. You know, hell, I hope the rest of y'all that are complaining about him being old, I hope y'all live to get to that age.
Well,
See,
I don't
that's
think it's all about. Well, okay, I hear you. I
You know
hear
what
what
I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Yes.
Right, but my point is,
Yeah,
then
go
you
ahead. Go ahead.
So my
go
point
ahead.
is that so you all are casting these stones at this man, okay, and you are assuming number one by sound bites, okay, what this life is, what he's doing, what he ain't doing, what him. Y'all step y'all foot into the White House, you'll be running out the door soon the first phone call came. Okay, it takes a special person to be able to be in that position to put up with y'all shit. Okay,
And
can you
he
imagine?
do not run the show completely.
Huh? Go
He
ahead.
do not run the show completely.
He
And that's
does
what
not
people
run the
gotta
show
get.
completely, okay? And this is not defending or accepting. This is just the truth behind the truth. The same thing would happen with President Obama. Same thing happened with George Bush. Same thing happened with Bill Clinton. Same thing happened with other Bush. Same thing happened with before Ronald Reagan. You know, before Ronald Reagan, who was it? Nixon. Who was it? No, Jimmy Carter. You know, and then before Jimmy Carter was Nixon. Okay, all of these men have had to stand in this position for one way or the other. Okay, they all did likable and unlikable situations. And I refuse to name Donald Trump put that ain't helping at all.
But you know what? I don't only think that age is also the factor here. I think
he's laughing at my thing about the picture.
Well, hey,
Go
it
ahead.
is what it is because you know that's a situation that I don't quite understand. We talked about that some shows back. But my thing is, it's not only the age factor; it's the preconceived notion that he has taken for granted the foundation that that he now is in, or that he stands on as president.
Right.
That needs to be. I feel like he needs to prove to those people who are saying that he's too old that he can do the job, or that is he actually doing the job that consists of a certain demographic, or is he really listening? Because what we're now seeing, and you know, people feel like Biden has gotten so comfortable to the point that they think in their mind that he thinks that Trump is going to lose, when Trump has so much he has nothing to lose at this point but to go to jail. Now that's not, and I'm just saying all bets are off. Trump is now trying to win to free himself at this point.
That's all he cares
But
about.
I would want Biden to really get the Democrats in line when it boils down to the messaging. I keep saying this. I kept saying this when Obama was president. The Democrats do not have a great PR team.
Right.
The Republicans,
I don't understand that myself.
The Republicans have a great PR team because they all stand on one purpose and one
Propaganda.
purpose. That too. On one purpose alone.
Lies.
That too. But the Democrats have a situation where it's just they're so all over the place with their messaging, and then you don't know what's going on because there's some form of infighting.
Right.
But I will vote.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for, but I know who I'm not voting for. And I know I ain't that damn crazy. But I think what the American people need to come up out of their feelings just a little bit and think logically. Right. Because what's going on right now in our country, a lot of people are not thinking logically. Right. They're thinking with they so engrenched in their feelings right now. It's like, oh my God, nobody's hearing me, nobody understands me. So if I don't vote for Biden, I vote for Trump, or I withhold my vote. I'm going to withhold my vote as resistance, as protest, and that will not get us nowhere either.
So while you're in that particular vein, explain real briefly about withholding your vote and what it causes. Okay, at the end of the day, go ahead.
Well, withholding your vote will cause you. Let's just say this: if you are a citizen of whatever country you come from, if you have the liberty to go vote, because you have given away your birthright as a citizen to not vote. Right. And as an African American, I'm from Alabama. I'm about 30 minutes away from Selma, Alabama, and I'm about 30 minutes away. I grew up 30 minutes away from Selma and Montgomery. That is a crime to my soul. That puts a dagger in those who had lived those years of torment. I'm not having the right to vote. Black folks, and I'm gonna give you a Black history moment right here. As a Black person, if you don't vote, and I'm gonna say this, if you don't get out and vote, forget about the protection of the federal government and forget about the protection from your state and local levels, because voting really makes it so that you have a protection over your life. Right. You have the right to go and get people out of their jobs and put new people in their jobs. Right. Because at the time of the Jim Crow situation, us not having that right to vote gave somebody else the power to come and take you up out of your home, right, to rape your woman, right, to kill your children, to bomb your churches. Right. Right. I'm just saying that gave that person the liberty and the power, right, to do whatever they wanted to do. You know how, and I keep repeating this. It took in certain states to 1968 for the Brown and the Brown versus the Board of Education to integrate the schools. Right. When we all know that was filed in 54, right, as as against liberty for education. Right. But who runs the states right now? Right, exactly. You have a good boy system who runs the states. Right. So I'm just saying, if you don't go out and vote, people, you take that protection away from you as an individual, right, and plus you have given away your birthright.
But I think that's what they're gambling on, though. I think that's a part of the game. That's a part of the whole thing, especially with people of color. They know that we can be very fickle at times when it comes down to things, and we get upset and get in our feelings. And I'm just not even gonna vote. Don't worry about it. I don't want neither one of them. So that right, means that guess what? You not voting now puts us in a position once again where we can be in a place where, like, they were taking away women's rights for abortion. Then next thing you know, they're gonna be taking away the ones who do have to have assistance. That's gonna be right, gone. Right. Then it's gonna be the next thing you're gonna look up is the elderly. Then they say you're gonna look up, and then we might be the first ones on the shopping block. Probably should have put us first.
Right.
The LGBTQ, Y, X, and Z. Yeah.
Well, Darnell, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your point. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think that
but go ahead real quick.
I just think that people gotta come up out of, like you were saying, come up out of their feelings and start looking at the bigger picture. Right. And be able to just, him in office is not going to work. It's not going to work.
Absolutely not. Well, we got to go for a quick break, guys. And when we come back, we're going to dig in deeper. All right. Yeah. We're going to be joined by our wonderful engineer, the best kept secret in Atlanta.
The best kept secret in Atlanta.
Dr. Charles McIntosh will be right back with us after this quick break. We'll see you in a minute.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you once again for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth. It is a beginning to good tonight. The pot was the stuff in the pot is stirring. Okay, we're gonna turn up the heat a little bit. All right. We're gonna turn up the heat a little bit with our one and our famous Atlanta's best kept secret, Dr. McIntosh, is joining us in the chat tonight. Charles, welcome.
Welcome, Charles.
Real quick,
good evening.
Thank you, brother. Want to remind you guys about our support that we have. Definitely going to get your mug. Got to get your mug. It's okay. It's the holidays. Order a bunch of them. It's okay. 10, 15 of them, not a problem. Give them out as gifts. Okay. Definitely give them out as gifts. $15 to our website. Same website you see about the contest on the bottom is where you also order it for yourself. $15.99 for your order. Or during the contest, you can submit 10 shares or 10 likes to our email address with that information. We'll verify, get the mug out to you as well. All right. Anyway, So we're gonna dig on in. I want to just, since we got a good flow going on right here, tonight, that conversation. I do want to dive into where I said we're gonna bring it kind of full circle. How you started out tonight, earlier on, about karma and things coming back on you about what you say,
spiritual
karma,
karma.
Spiritual karma, right? So I'm gonna kind of do is a shift real quick into the spiritual realm, and then we're gonna bring it back into the other realm again, real fast. I do want to bring this up real fast. Is how now I would say almost my second mentor, in spirituality, I've been a fan favorite of his for years, okay, in terms of following his ministry and things like that from way back, from his time at Azusa, and what he did, in the, far as, okay, I'm not jumping around because there's so much I can say about him. I'm trying to narrow it down. What this man did, a typical man of color, he bridged the gap in the Pentecostal arena for whites and blacks to fellowship together after a long stead from that, where you had Church of God in Christ separated, and then they went to the Church of God, and the Church of God became all white.
And that tradition is still happening.
Some
to
of
this
it
day.
is, some of it's still around, at the end of the day. But he felt the need even then to have a conversation with these different people to bridge the gap. So he came out with his Azusa ministry. Azusa was a big conference that he had for several years, and where he got the name Azusa from was from right here in California, from Azusa Street. Azusa Street was where there was a big spiritual move of God in California. This was in the 1900s, okay? Out of that particular move, or the move of that spirit in the 1900s, you had the involvement of the Church of God in Christ, and you had typically these two dominating sources came out of it, which was the Church of God in Christ and the Church of God. So one was black, one was white, okay, how it happened. But during Azusa, and I'm trying to wrap this up real quick, during the Azusa part of it is that they were totally in fellowship. You had black and white getting together, they were fellowshipping, they were having a good time, and spirit together, and all this. But somebody in the midst of, there was a Judas in the camp, I'll use that as a term, Judas in the camp, that said, oh, you know what? You may not like to have that black man making babies with your white daughter. Okay, so racism in its form of backhanded racism started surfacing into it. So what happened? They started to divide. Bishop Mason went off and started the Church of God in Christ, and they said that I forget who started the the white Pentecost, and they all birthed into these different things. Well, anyway, so that's a little history real quick of how where the Azusa movement came from. So now moving fast forward. So so Bishop Pearson, okay, about 14 years ago, maybe 15 years ago now, that he heard and his understanding a revelation from God. Okay, and it was a complete revelation that redefined what Christianity in its way it's been taught, and the inception of it and had changed. And this was a need to change. Now, some of y'all didn't change, some of y'all still ain't changed, some of y'all don't care, and that's okay. Okay, if you want to believe in a living, existing, breathing, hot, fiery, whatever you want to call it, hell, okay, have at it. If you want to believe that you have that the devil controls your life rather than the God you serve, have at it. Okay, what Bishop Pearson said and what he believed and what those of us decided to accept, the truth behind the truth in this, was that hell was eliminated, because if Christ died for all, period, at the end of the day. Now, some of y'all don't like the fact that Jeffrey Dahmer was redeemed. Anybody else that got killed or into massacres and all that, these people have been redeemed. I know it's hard to accept all that because it affects us emotionally, especially if you've had family members that have been, massacred, murdered, whatever the case may be, shot, and you don't want to offer that level of forgiveness for somebody. I get it. But you cannot say what your feeling is that should be everybody else's feeling. Okay, and I get it. That's right. Something that you need to deal with our Creator on.
What you say, Darnell?
No, he said right. Oh, and I know I'm getting along with it. I know you don't like me getting along, but I just had to frame where we're going with this conversation. So, but in that, okay, so Bishop Pearson is in a position that he's at a point of transition, okay, which we really don't want to lose him to, but he is in control of his own transition, okay, at this point. And I'm celebrating him as long as he can, as he's gone, and when he does transition. But the celebratory part is that the freedom that this man has been able to deeply study and bring about the freedom for everyone. Okay. And why would you want to rob somebody of an opportunity to be free? It's just like somebody coming to your door, has some shackles and putting your ass back in slavery. Okay. And then you want to fight for freedom at that point. So stop trying to fight for people's freedom about debating over your understanding of scripture. Somebody else may have had that same revelation, and they okay. It's okay. Because here's the thing. We've got over 39,000 interpretations of one scripture. I mean, one scriptural sense, meaning that one Bible. So that should tell you right there that everybody ain't believing the same thing, or don't want to believe the same thing. Okay? Be free to what you want to believe. But here's one thing I'm going to say, let's make that point. Stop putting these negative connotations on Bishop Payson's page. Okay? Saying stuff, well, I hope he's repented. You need to repent for putting that on the page. Okay, if you don't agree, shut the hell up and keep moving your life. Okay, but do not do things like that, because you would not want to be that in that subject position. Well, number one, if you're transitioning to whatever that disease may be, or you got a family member, mother, dad, cat, dog, whatever it is, and you put somebody puts that type of stuff on your page, how would you feel about it? Okay, so here's bringing it back in about.
Probably wouldn't feel no ways tied because they're part of the internet.
Probably, it's true.
That's part.
So this is where we're circling back, and I'm gonna be quiet. This one, circling back to what you said earlier about the karma. Watch what you say about your mouth. Watch what you put out there on people's lives. Okay, because what you put out there will surely find you out. So go ahead, Darnell.
No, it's just that. I mean, and I speak from being in that position myself. I've been there. I've been there in the place of where he is now.
Yes,
but like you stated, only you have control over the factor, you and your maker.
Right.
But what people have to do is this. They have to know that. I think that the biggest thing is people just have lost compassion and love, and they got to get. We as a whole have to get back to that, because those are things. Some people, if he wasn't a person who was so strong in the word and strong in the knowing of his God, he would be one of those people that probably somebody read it to him, or he read it, or however the case may be. If he was in that position and he was like, "Oh, well, I don't feel like I had to live for because people are being so this. What did I fight for? What did I this? You know." So the people they got to stop it. They got to stop it. That's
Absolutely.
it.
And it's sad that this is coming from "quote unquote" the Christian community. It's very sad.
Those are the biggest demons.
The biggest, yeah, I'm telling you, biggest ones. Go ahead, bro. I know you.
Charles.
Go ahead, Charles.
Oh, I hate to be the demon of the group, but this is my heartfelt thing about religion. It has become such a staple and a crutch for everyday living that it has become the evil of our country, of all countries.
It is.
Religion has become the reason I hate you, why I don't like you, well, I'll kill you, why I don't like what you do. Everybody's getting this judgment from hiding under this cloak of religion.
Yes.
And it's destroying us. And like you said, it should have been some empathy in there, some care for each other, but we seem to have lost track of all that in the name of religion and judgment. Right. And I just don't understand that. When I was in the military, I used to tell people I was a Baptist because I was raised in a Baptist church. And a young white guy put it to me. He said, what do you know about religion? I said, well, I know Jesus. He goes, no. What do you know about religion? And he gave me this thick book, like a phone book, that had all the religions in it. And there was a write-up of chapters on how they got started. I spent my whole 6 months reading that book because I had nothing else to do but work and read. So when I finished it, it gave me this enlightenment to all of it saying that we have a creator and that we should care for each other. Right. So I don't understand where all the other stuff came from. All these other
control,
this and that, you gotta, and that's all it basically came down to. And after he did that, he asked me what I get from him. I told him the same thing. I said, it made me understand that we're fighting each other over who prays the best, who has the best rules. And that's not even what that is for. We lose sight of what that is actually for. And then, so my thing basically became, and I hate to say it this way, but most of the pimps and thugs and thieves in my neighborhood became preachers. They became preachers after they got through robbing, stealing, pimping. They went to the church. And I'm like, wow. They traded one scheme for another. Basically, that's how I saw it. Right. And I hate saying it that way because there should be some value in religion and even in faith. There should be some value, some substance. And we seem to have lost it all with the Iranians, how they run their country with religion. And then here we are trying to get the United States to be run by the Bible. Right. And we talking about other people, how they live. Right. it's just one giant contradiction.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But it's sad, though, to be honest with you, of a institution that's supposed to be preaching about love and understanding and some form of tolerance and acceptance. You now, I mean, you see the politics within the institution.
Right.
Yeah,
Speak to that. Go ahead.
It's too political.
Right.
And it's based on, like you say, some form of control.
Right.
I just think, from where I see it, and especially from a cultural standpoint, it has been a disappointment to me. And it's a disappointment as a Black man to walk in this country alone, knowing the foundation of which the church, we as a community, was supposed to have as a form of a foundation of information. That has now become, that institution has now been clouded with, I know God more than you, and you're going to hell because of this and that. And then on top of that, let's not talk about the homosexual stance on it, the LGBT, because we already know that's something to grab people by the horns and say, y'all come over and listen to this hate speech, because I know y'all do understand where I'm coming from. But it's just one of those things. Even with Carlton, Bishop Carlton Pearson, his situation is really sad, because you got a lot of people within that church realm, and I believe it's coming from the Kojic standpoint of it, where people who are still angry at his foundation of preaching that there is no hell, and that you have a God within you to make decisions for your life, instead of you depending on this natural force that you at least have within you yourself. You just have to believe that there is a God in you. But there are people who still want to believe that there is a God above me that's controlling my situation, which is not. And that
Jesus, take the wheel.
Go ahead.
When we're talking on this show, we're talking life. In the beginning, in which it was written in the Bible, when God spoke, the world was created, right?
Yes.
So if God spoke and the world was created, what makes you not have that same type of quality of power?
Wow.
And that's one thing the traditionalists do not like. They want you to believe there is control out of you, which is what is going on within America. I keep preaching this to people about the fact that as an American, you have the power within you to go out and vote and make change, but you're wanting politicians to do it for you. That's not how it works. So that is the reason why there is a battle within, not only in the church, but out here in the secular world, where we always trying to compare, like, oh, well, I can't do nothing because the president said something. I can't do nothing because the politicians. No. That's not how that's supposed to work. The Constitution said we the people, not we the president, not we the congressman or the Senate. The same thing is what Bishop Carlton Pearson is preaching to those Christians who want to believe that I have no power to stand on. And it's sad that we still want to believe in oppressed Christianity. That's what it's bound. And as a Black person, I know that's where we get our teachers from. It's from oppressed Christianity, because and I'm just going to end it right here. It goes back to the slave mentality.
Yes, it does.
Obey your master.
Yes, it does.
Not obey God. I do believe that God was the master that white man was preaching us, but we still want to hold on to that message. Do not ask no questions. Obey your master.
Yeah.
Remember that.
You know what, Darla? You make a good point. Even though we get ready to go to break, let me just say this. We have a clip of some young men, and this is where my gripe comes from. We have all these big thinkers and intelligent people in our neighborhood telling politicians what they need to do and where they need to go. Why aren't these people taking office and using all this damn brain power they claim to have in helping us get where we need to get? Again, instead of always pointing when you gonna get there and when somebody gonna be elected to take over that, why don't you step in and be the change you seek? They don't want to do that. But after the break, maybe we should show that clip.
Yeah, please. We can come back from break with that clip. All right, guys. Hey, I told you guys. Hey, don't mess with him. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with him. Don't mess with him. All right, because we know, and we're coming from the heart, and we're coming from the spirit. We'll be right back with more heart and more spirit. All right, after this break.
What in the hell is going on with this thing? problem is when it comes down to the churches, they're so busy. There's the church. The politics have stepped into the church. The church has now turned into a business transaction.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth. We welcome you. You can jump in the pot now because we got to store it up. Let's stir it up a little bit more. As we say, stir it up a little bit more. Definitely. But again, thank you for that. I just want to remind you real quick to get your mug. After tonight, you probably really need a Truth Behind the Truth mug so you can sip on this information, okay, and make it right for your life. But the main reason we bring topics like this and be very strong because we want to see you have a better life for yourself. But you've got to exercise and accept the facts of information that's coming at you. Okay, we don't want to. Yeah, we ain't trying to. We are. I ain't gonna say that. We're trying to bust up some stuff. All right, but bust up some old thinking, break the glass ceiling on where your thoughts have been, and let you be free to be who you were created to be. All right, let's go ahead and dig back in. Where did we leave off? I think Charles, you were making another point, or who was making another point? We're gonna pick up when we got back.
Yeah, I was speaking about the immigrants. They had the town hall in Chicago.
Yes,
I was born and raised in Chicago. And Chicago is one of those I guess you call it cornerstones of the Black political movement because the predominantly Black community. And my family's always been involved in politics, from volunteering to holding councilman post, and just working on elections. My mom worked with Barack Obama in his first run for president. So my family's always been political. We watched the elections as if we were watching the NFL championship or something. Okay. We all around and we would watch the elections. And so Chicago was one of those hotbeds of where the politics is so ruined. And then we're all people of color in those positions, and none of them are doing anything. They get the job as if they get it to have a retirement. They're not really digging in and doing the footwork that needs to be done. So these gentlemen here were at a town hall meeting about the immigration problem. And I just want to play that for us.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Free child care, and some of them are getting Social Security. And when my ancestors were released from slavery, they got the clothes on their back, but yet they were told to be happy. So why am I and everyone in this country footing the bill for people who are non-Americans, who don't vote, who don't fight in any of our wars, who never paid a tax? And we're told that if we say anything, we're xenophobic. Tell me why. Tell us all why. I want to know.
I think it's wrong. I mean, it shouldn't happen, but this is a U.S. immigration.
Transparency, that's my brother. That's my brother. We disagree, but that's my brother. I just want to say, anyway, what the sister said, I don't give a damn about no Joe Biden. So if that lady want to pass out something about that, that's her free will. Y'all can't be forcing democracy on people. She got the right, just like you got the right to say vote for Joe Biden. I got the right as somebody who represents formerly incarcerated person to say Joe Biden and Clinton 94 crime bill created that. And we haven't recovered from that. The only asylum seekers that's perpetually discriminated against in this country by everybody is formerly incarcerated people. They have 18,000 homeless ex-cons, yet they're around here talking about public safety. You don't even know what these men are.
So, I mean, that's a lot to dissect, I mean, in that structure. I know there's a lot more to that, that we may pick up another point in that. But, I do want to say, if I may, that, well, for one, I applaud the gentleman that's been coming from being incarcerated to wanting to use his voice. Now, I don't agree with a lot of things he was saying and using his voice, because he's not, in my opinion, a sense of reality about where things are. Okay, number one is that his stance on democracy, brother. You needed democracy, okay? Because if you don't have democracy, guess where you going? And it was democracy that did pave the way for you to come out. All right, so you need to watch. We're talking about to say you really need to watch what you say. Okay, in the process of that, because that them little snippets of words that you said could find yourself back in the place where you spent 18 years. Now, nobody's questioning, why you spent 18 years. Because here's the thing. Democracy will help people understand you better, because here's the thing. They can shut you down without the democracy and send you back. Okay, without question. Okay, within the ranks of your democracy comes your opportunity to have freedom of speech. Okay, so that allowed you the platform to stand up right where you were, rebuking people in the midst of that, and don't understand why you're rebuking people. My thing for the brother in that case, I think you should have shut down. You should sit down, listen more, and speak less. Okay, that's me.
In an authoritarian dictatorship, such as Saddam Hussein, the Ayatollah Khomeini, that stuff he was just saying there, he'd be out in the middle of the street and they'd be flogging him with a whip.
That's true.
And he thinks that you can't force democracy on me. Well, I hate to say it this way, but fool, where you think you're in? You're not living in another country. I don't know why people think they can live here and go, but I don't have to follow the rules. You can't go nowhere else and not follow the rules.
Exactly.
And see, else you can go and do that stuff.
That's the kicker right there, Charles. You just said that. And I keep asking people, how many Americans that we know really travel outside the U.S.? A whole lot of us don't travel outside the U.S. We don't. And the saddest thing about it is when we do, we get it from sound bites. We get people from sound bites who go to Japan. Yeah. There was one, for example, this lady, and she was out there. She was an American, and this was cringy enough. She's going down the street and she's doing her little dance, which I thought was so disrespectful. Yes, because when you go to other countries, there's certain customs that you're not supposed to be doing or presenting. But she had to come up with the fact that, well, I'm over here in Japan. Japan got this, Japan got that. And while she's saying all of what they have and the comforts that they have and all this, I keep saying to myself, we could have this over here in the U.S. But it's people like you who needs attention, but not for the right reasons too. You should have brought all that energy that you got from Japan over to the U.S. and encourage and enlighten through votes, through talking to people, through organizing. But you're so busy showboating like capitalists do. Because she got a good job. She out there as an American. She got her stuff, and these people, she people who got good jobs and within the corporate world, they like to flash. But what they damn sure don't do is like to come over here and enlighten their community about this is how we need to get on top of certain things. You got businesses over in Atlanta right now. Did y'all see that Keith Lee situation that happened? You saw how he had exposed those black restaurants out there in Atlanta and how he put them all on Jump Street about their service, about their price, about the fact that they were doing so much. It was just unethical situations. But this is what gets me is the fact that we don't have it within our minds to understand that in other places, what we deal with over here, they don't have to deal with over there. No. They don't.
Darnell?
I don't know. The people, they just really
full of shit.
They really they perturb me every day. with the factor of all the things, and just for him and saying about the whole democracy and all this, that, and other, and the third. Um, the whole aspect of being an American in the United States is to be able to have the freedom of speech, the freedom to be able to do and be or however you choose to be. Some people abuse that, but they still have it. And I think that to take it back to, if the people do not turn around and wake up and do what they need to do, we're going to be in a position where we don't have it anymore.
Yes.
Right. That's true.
We don't have it anymore.
Fragile. It's the most fragile institution that the world has ever. A democracy, a democratic government is the most fragile because a lot of people don't understand the freedoms that they have. Go ahead, Charles.
No, I agree with you. You know what the problem is, darling? And I'm gonna give you a good example. When John McCain was running for president, Whoopi Goldberg, he was on The View. Whoopi Goldberg said, so tell us what your philosophy. He says, I believe in the law, the rule of law. She said, well, John, if slavery is the law, would you uphold it? And he said that he couldn't even open his mouth. And then he said, I uphold the law. So if slavery is a law and you know it's not good, why would you uphold it? Which tells you what it means to be a conservative on the right side. And then, and I tell us people every day, the left is just as dirty. It's just that they try to smile when they do it.
Exactly.
It's a crazy thing. Barack Obama came into office. He couldn't get the stuff he wanted done because all of the white power in the Democratic Party goes, oh no, we're not going to have that Negro come up in here and make all these changes and fix all this stuff that we've been trying for years, couldn't do.
Right.
So even the healthcare thing was such a no-no. They tried to block, even the Democrats tried to block it. You can't do that. No. And when he did it, he said, once you get it, watch how you won't want to let it go. And all them folks said, I don't like Obamacare, but I love the Affordable Care Act.
Right. Like what?
Dumbass, it's the same thing. But do you hear them saying that all the time? I'll do Affordable Care Act, but I don't like Obamacare. But that's how ignorant people are and how they tune into these sides. You know, just the Democrats.
But the fact that it was called Obamacare, though.
And that's what they did. Put a stigma on it. That's why they did it. Yep. Too much power for one man to have, and a situation where it made change for the betterment of everybody. Because what if it would have been called Martin? What if certain laws that were passed in the 60s were called the Martin Luther King laws? The Martin Luther King, the right to vote. The Martin Luther King, the Civil Rights Bill. See, that would have been tarnished too. But Lyndon B. Johnson didn't want to call it those things, even though he knew where that came from. It wasn't based on the government doing that. It was based on the people who took on their right, even though they didn't even have the right to vote. But they paid just like Lincoln. His hands was tied. He had no other choice. Yeah. Lincoln said, I wouldn't free the slaves if it wasn't for I couldn't bring my country back together if I don't do it. But he would have kept slavery in place. That's why I don't know why we praise him so much. He didn't do that all this for us. He did that for the country, well, his own hide. He didn't want, and they still killed him after the fact. So I don't understand why we praising all these people who didn't do so much for it. Reagan's the reason we got all these high colleges and all this educational problems, because he wanted to make sure only the elite and the rich could afford it. Then we messed around, we blamed Joe Biden for the crime act when the reverends, the preachers, and in the black neighborhood came to him and asked him to be the face and the voice of it. Right. They brought that crime act together. Right. Not Joe Biden. He was just the face of it. So they wanted to blame him for it, and they killed me with that. It caused of him. Yes, Clinton made the 3-strike rule, and even he says to this day he regrets it because it was a really bad thing to do because of the injustice in the system. Right. Crack became this, and cocaine became that. And as long as they could draw that dividing line there and separate it, that's all it needed. Didn't matter. And even he goes, I didn't know there was a difference between crack and cocaine. It's like men telling women about abortions. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Why are you making rules for people you have no understanding of? Right. And that's the same thing when it comes to even our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods get less attention because they feel we destroy it. But we didn't destroy it. It was already jacked up. So what are you going to destroy crap? How do you destroy crap when it's already there? And that's the issue we have. We keep trying to tie things to the stigmas instead of looking at the reality of what they are. Lead and water, that's not your fault. Lead and water in the pipes in the cities, they're talking about that all through the country now, how these lead pipes are leaking lead, people having brain issues and cardio issues, but nobody's doing anything. Biden did. He put a bunch of money in there to help. But what they say, we can't afford that. But we can send Israel billions of dollars.
Always.
Because we're up Taylor Swift's ass and she making billions of dollars. We up Beyonce's ass and she making billions of dollars. We up all these athletes' asses and they're making billions of dollars. So if I'm so worried about somebody else's pockets, why I'm worried about my own pipes leaking lead?
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter because the media has made it so that they don't even report on stuff like this. It's all about who made the most money, and it's we up here doing the hand claps, and we're sitting up here broke. Go on ahead, Darnell.
Yeah. People just don't return.
You know, it's I mean, this was just such a plethora of information that just kind of brought together so many different levels we can, pull over. The one point I want to make, like, is about the financial position. These people, like it or not, I get it. You think the Beehive is the last thing on the earth. Okay, you think being a Swiftie is the last thing on earth. So you're going to pump, push. Just for the record, okay, if you got to take a payment plan out to go to a concert, something wrong with you.
Amen.
Okay, because Beyonce,
Barbara Streisand, but I would not do that.
Beyonce said, "Baby, do what you got." And I'm just saying, fictitiously speaking, but Beyonce was like, "Baby, do what you got to do to come see me." You the one got to pay that payment plan because guess what? I done paid for my $200 million home out on Malibu. Okay, and you just paid for it. Think about this stuff, baby. Think about young people. If y'all just pass by this show and here, think about it. Okay, for real, your life is important. Your life is important.
Just for her, JB, to turn around and get finished with the tour, to go and put it in theaters that they can go and watch it for $18.
I told him that. I told him that. Did I tell you that? When she came out with the tour, I said, it's going to be a movie, and she's going to make the money on the movie. We got to go to break. We'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, what the heck is wrong with this? Me.
All right, and we are back, guys. Hey, we are coming to the point where we're going to cool the pot off just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. But we want to thank you so much for allowing us to dive into your life, and really bringing about things and hope for change. And we, as I said, we will do this week by week, okay? It is our mission. It is our goal to help you become better and to find your authentic self in every area that you live. If you're into religion, great. That's perfect. But let it be about the faith that you have in our Creator, not about the practice of someone that puts out there for you. If you're going to practice religion, practice your faith and your communication with your Creator. Okay, not towards somebody, the rules and regulations that somebody necessarily put out there for you and claim that they got it from the scripture. Because if you can't find it in the scripture and it brings liberty and life to your life, then you just need to toss it away because it's not done for that purpose. It's not presented for that purpose. And if it's presented from a position of control, you need to let it go. Bottom line. But anyway, let's go ahead and I know we got a couple of quick points before we get out of here. Did you want to have the reference back tonight?
Going back to the vote, I want to say this too. You know, everybody make a big spiel about the fact that, and I'm going to bring this up, the LGBT and all that stuff, you know, and women's rights and all that jazz. But knowing the history of the stock that which we have come from, those who don't vote, and I'm talking about my Black community. I ain't talking about anybody because I know I'm Black first. When you don't vote, you spit in the names of these 4 individuals: Cynthia Wesley, Addie Mae Collins, Denise McNair, and Carol Robinson. Those 4 girls went to church and did not know they were going to be killed. And because of that situation, there was a conversation within the movement that said we have to protect our babies. We have to protect our children at all costs, because we see that it took to 1976 for the men who killed those 4 girls to be prosecuted and put in prison, not 64 or 63, because J. Edgar Hoover knew who did that and didn't do nothing. Nothing. It took, because of that situation, the voting rights of 1965. So while y'all are so busy trying to take the rights away from gay folks and women and certain other people, you need to understand, when you don't go vote, you spit in those 4 girls' faces, because those 4 girls were the reason in Birmingham, Alabama, in that 16th Street Baptist church, in that basement, in that women's lavatory. You go down there and you spit in that memorial right now. If you don't go vote, go spit on that. Because and not only talk, but there's a 5th girl that was in that bathroom that day. She's still living. Go spit in her face too. Because what you're telling those 4 girls is that your life did not matter enough for me to go vote. And that's a sad thing to have to watch. And I'm gonna also miss the white lady from Detroit who got killed on the road to Selma, from Montgomery to Selma, Alabama, the maid. Go Miss Laoza, I think that was her name. White woman too. This is white woman got killed on the road. Y'all really wake up. Get out of your feelings. Please get out of your feelings, because this is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. And you have to protect your children as well. I hope you do think about your future generations. I'm just saying.
You know, that's something we're gonna pick
Go
up
vote.
next week's show.
Go vote.
But yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about the youth and the youth getting involved, you know, with this, and looking at our freshman senators, you know, and we're going to celebrate them a little bit, bring some more information about them to you guys next week, you know, in that regard. One thing I do want to make a point of is that let's give a hand and a shout out to Ohio for voting, for giving the women their rights. Okay. You know, letting them know that, hey, this, to me, that when Ohio shifts, in other words, you know, a blue, okay, this is a sign. This is a hidden sign that, you know, these women, these people are not going to let this shit happen to them. I'm just going to be ready blunt to it, okay? At the end of the day, because they are going in there and they're going to vote, you know, and it's going to be a statement made. So you Trump supporters, okay, hey, look, let me say this. Well, I got like 1 minute to say this. You know, hey, I like some things that were about Trump. Okay, at the end of the day, some things about Trump, okay, before he became dumb. All right. So, all right. Because he became a dumping ground for everybody else's stuff, but y'all wanted to make it look like he was on the forefront of doing everything. He became a dumping ground. Okay. A wealthy dumping ground, because he dumped every Mitch McConnell piece of shit in there. He dumped every Paul Ryan shit in there. He dumped every one of them into him to try to be the face of what they were going to try to get done. Okay. And then yet at the same time got a lot. Well, anyway, we'll get to that. So, but anyway, so you guys, please take a step back from your perceptions of the way you see life, the way you see each other, see individuals, and really start trying to find the soul and the heart of this person. The one thing about President Biden said, he said he's trying to protect the heart and the soul of America, not making America great again. You can't make great people already great. Okay, America already been great. You can't go back and make it great again. So that was already an oxymoron when you came up with that on the red hat. Okay, Mega, you can't be making some great that's already a great. As an oxymoron, in case you didn't know. Maybe Hat should say oxymoron rather than making America great. All right. But anyway, so saying this, but definitely think about yourself, really, guys, at the end of the day. Really think about yourself to what you represent to this community, the community living, and the community of life. We're all a community here. Black, white, yellow, pink, blue, whatever you represent.
Truth behind the truth.
Truth behind the truth. Because if one fails, we all fail.
Amen.
Okay, at the end of the day, if
That's
one
right.
we all fail, it's about us. So if you're allowing somebody to fail and not hold their arms up, guess what? You're failing at the same time because you're failing not to support them in the aspect of what they need to do. All right. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning into the Truth Behind Truth Night. Charles, thank you for being here. I'm sure he will be with us again next week. Darnell, we love you. Thank you for being here as well.
Yes, Charles.
Here, Parnell, we sending you love.
No,
All
I'm
right.
saying yes, Charles.
You drop in where you can. All right. Guys, have a powerful, powerful night and put these things to action in your life. All right. We love you. Thanks for tuning into what? The truth behind the truth.
Behind the
Good
truth.
night.